Welcome to the Nature Photo Guys podcast,
where we talk about nature photography, from gear to our philosophies and everything in between.
So grab a cup of coffee, sit back and relax.
You're listening to Joe Desjardins
and Chris Gibbs, the Nature Photo Guys.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Nature Photo Guys podcast. In this episode, what we're going to do is review the viewer comments on our cold weather photography episode. We're pretty happy that people, given their ideas and suggestions, for cold weather photography. And so what Chris and I did was we made a little compilation here, a list of what they suggested, and we thought we'd just go over them.
Yeah, we got some great feedback. I was pretty impressed with some of the comments and some of the ideas. It's great. Everybody's thinking outside the box a little bit too, eh? So.
Well, and that's it. And, our list was very generic at the beginning, based on our experience too.
Sure.
But, I think with viewer comments, we can expand this list and who knows what we could come up with for next year.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So pretty stotted about that. So right now, why don't we start there, Chris?
Sure. Sounds good, Joe. You betcha.
Take it off. So I'm going to take the first one here.
Okay.
One of our viewers, Bill, made a suggestion about keeping the camera warm using those hot hands, the chemical hand warmers,
right,
and wedging them in the L bracket or the cage of your camera if you're using one. So I just grabbed mine here.
Okay.
You could see right here, this is a cage, right? So there's a lot of, hiding places and stuff. But for myself, I would think that putting a hot pocket here or a hot hands here, right where the battery is. And, there's room there. So it would actually fit quite nice. Just a piece of gaffer tape or something over top of that to keep that battery warm, I think is an excellent idea. Some of these cages, there's little spaces I guess you could find to put them in. I'm not too worried about keeping the camera warm, but the battery. Right. So
putting it right by that battery door makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So Bill had a really good idea, or good suggestion there. So just looking at this cage here, there's lots of room. So,
while you showed that, maybe people are asking, what is a cage used for? Both cameras, I use a cage day in, day out. It's got the ability to attach different things. There's cold shoe, and it's got an Arca Swiss, tripod plate kind of built into the bottom of the cage. So it just goes right on the
exactly.
Tripod,
you can add all kinds of accessories. I got this run and gun handle here, when you're in the field running with it, right? You put the monitor up here, the mic, on this side here, we actually have the HDMI cable adapter screwed into the side of the cage, just all kinds of neat stuff, right? So whether you're using a cage or just a standard L bracket, I think the L bracket would work just fine too. So
for sure.
So it's a good tip, Bill. We appreciate that one for sure. I'll just do the second one for Bill, and then I'll get you to do that. Now, he'd also suggested when we had talked about in the other episode about using a blower, right? This is something I carry with me all the time for dirt and snow and that sort of thing. He had said he used an old shaving brush. And for those of you that are old enough to know what that is, the shaving brush, camel hair, horse hair, whatever it was. My dad still uses it, right? So you take the brush and you put it in the soap dish, and then you apply the lather, right? So Bill had suggested one of those for your kit, and the bristles are so soft. And some of them, that'd be ideal.
For sure.
I just wanted to show you though, what I use is just basically a lens pen. So basically the same idea of what Bill's talking about. It's got a retractable, I'm just trying to get this in focus. It's got a retractable brush, right? To keep it clean. So you can put it away while it's, to keep it clean. And then on the other end here, there's a little like smudge removal tool, right? It's basically just a rubber head, and it has like charcoal, that kind of stuff on it to eliminate some of those stubborn,
smears,
greasy marks or smears and stuff on there. So I've used that that too. So,
or even sometimes when like a snowflake or whatever kind of, lands
exactly.
or whatever, you can use that. So
exactly. So lens pen, shaving brush, again, another great tip there, Bill.
Yeah. Great ideas, Bill.
So what do you got there, Chris?
So Andy mentioned that he's no longer one doesn't use the one-shot chemical hand warmers anymore. He uses kind of the USB powered ones, and I actually have been using a couple USB powered ones for years, and not just in photography. As I get older, my hands are cold all the time, and we're going to talk about some glove accessories later on. But what I use is actually these heated hand warmers. So I'll have them in my pockets just around the house or going out to the truck or whatever. They're just super handy. They actually charge your phone if you want to, but
that's right. You got me one too. They're pretty cool, and they heat up fast.
They heat up fast, and I've had these for a couple of years. They're getting pretty worn. I probably can use some new ones here, but I actually find them. I put them in my pocket, and it's great. So I thought that was a great comment by Andy as well there. So
I mean, and obviously reusable. Emergency power source.
For sure.
That sort of thing. So no, that's great. That was a really good one there, Andy.
Yeah, for sure. And he also mentioned word of caution about the lens hoods. We were talking about the lens hoods in the cold, and his comment is they can trap hot air, or they can trap warm air inside the lens hood and create some condensation or whatever, or some issues with your lens, right?
Yeah, he had said heat haze that may soften the image. Now, I'm probably thinking more about coming from outside or inside the vehicle out.
Sure.
Where you have the larger lens hoods, like say on the 500 or 156 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And coming out, it might actually trap a little bit of warm air in there.
Sure.
But I could see that wreaking havoc on actually on an image, creating a soft image for sure.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. I was just thinking, on the 100 to 400, the Canon that we have, there's actually a little trap door that you can actually use to adjust your filters and stuff like that.
That's right.
I wonder if you kept that open, still use the hood, kept that open, you have some heat escaping there. Maybe that might be an idea.
But if you're using lens hood, like a lens coat.
Yeah. You can't do that.
Right.
Good point.
Yeah. So I see what you're saying. Up. It's right here. So if what you're talking about, Chris, is this right here.
Exactly. Yeah. Just let a little bit out there.
So for those of you that don't know, on the 100 to 400, Canon's lens hoods made this little trap door so you can actually put on, say, a polarizing filter on the end of there, and then access and then be able to turn and polarize it, right? So. Or NDs, or I guess whatever it is, eh? So,
sure. I honestly have to say I've never used it, but
I haven't either. But I know what you're saying.
But that might be a tip. I don't know. So, but that was a good comment by Andy for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So, no, really appreciate that one too, Andy. I'll let you do the third one too.
Yeah. Andy has one last one he wanted to note, and he tends to use the twist grip locks on the tripods rather than the snap grips, I guess, the clip locks. He's his suggestion is, maybe they're more susceptible for snapping in the cold weather. I've kind of used both. I mean, most of mine are, my photo tripod is the twist, but the new small rig video tripod that I have actually is the clip one. So,
important to note, sorry, that Andy did say there's no experience either way. It was just a random thought, and it does make sense because for sure. Yeah. And just like the the poles, I have telescopic poles for hiking. Yeah. They've got that the clip that you fold over. I've had one break.
Have you? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I've had one break.
Well, it's probably the whole thing. You get what you pay for, right? So I'm sure the ones that are built, whether, more, robust won't break, but the cheaper tripods, maybe they do. I don't know. I haven't really had too much experience with that either, but.
Yeah. All my tripods are the twist though. Especially my Gitzo. I love it because you can actually unscrew it and pull it apart and clean and put it back together.
Yeah.
So, which is probably a video I should do because actually I had to repair it the other night and I took photos, but I should have actually recorded it.
Video there.
Yeah, maybe that might be a a good one a little bit later.
Yeah, the problem with the video tripods, you can't. There's no twist. You can't do that because all the legs lift up and down at the same time, right? So
that's
you
right.
Have no choice but those on the video. But
yeah, so. A little bit different scenario for sure.
Yeah, a good point by Andy for sure. Another one. That's awesome.
So we had somebody message, and it wasn't on the YouTube channel. But Judy had asked, she's actually heading to Churchill this year, and actually she'll be out there at the same time as we are. So it'll be pretty cool. It's one of Bonnie's hiking friends and Linda's hiking friend and stuff like that. So that's going to be pretty cool. Yeah, and she had asked about lenses fogging up. So even though it wasn't a comment on YouTube, it was still a really good question. And my comment to that is I actually use a lens cleaner that's got like an anti-fog solution built into it.
Okay.
But if you actually follow kind of the steps that we had talked about, you should never really have that fogging issue, right?
No.
Because you're going to keep your gear cold and you're going outside in a cold environment. And then when you come back in, it should be a cold environment. So you shouldn't have that fogging happen.
Sure.
The fogging happening. But regardless, I still use the anti-fog. It's just built into the lens cleaner anyways.
The cleaner, for sure.
Yeah. You betcha.
You know where I have used it before, ran into some issues where like the GoPros, they have those plastic cases. The older ones have the plastic cases that you put over the GoPro, put it inside the protective case. And they actually make little like anti-fog tablets, I guess is what it is. You pop that in there and it creates a barrier so it doesn't fog up inside there. I don't know how that would work with the cameras itself because you're not enclosing it, especially. But if you're doing video with the GoPro or whatever, something like that's something to think about on that side. But
I just think those standard practices, cold to cold, back into cold, that sort of thing, would certainly eliminate.
Works for us.
Now,
I mean,
well. I know myself wearing glasses if I'm outside, like when it was -30 outside and coming into the house, it's instant, like fall. I mean, they crusted right up, but that's an extreme example, just using your glasses. I would never do that with photography gear, right?
No, exactly.
It's the old put it away in the cold bag, bring it in, let it, slowly acclimate, that sort of thing. So, but no, it was a good question. Good question, Judy.
Oh, for sure. So Terry made a comment about, when you're outside your vehicle, shooting over top of the hood with the heat from the engine and all that coming up through there. It's a good point. The heat and the cold weather may mix and create these heat waves as well. So have you seen that much, Joe?
Well, it's a good tip, but it's a good tip year round.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing, getting out of your vehicle and shooting across the hood when it's +30 out too. It's you're going to get all the heat waves, right? So it's just like shooting, down an old dirt road, a paved road, side road, you get the heats. You get stuff kind of wonky stuff with in their environment, right?
Well, the long lenses, right? The long lenses like emphasize some of that for sure, right? So
yeah, so it's a really good point that Terry made. Just eliminate that altogether. If you got to sneak around the back of your vehicle as opposed to the front, just as long as it's not running and you got the exhaust coming up. You know what I mean? So find a way to eliminate the heat. Yeah, for sure.
Heat shimmer of any sort is not. Once you get home and look at your images, you won't be happy. So just try to eliminate it for sure.
No, for sure. The other thing Terry had mentioned was shooting out your window with the vehicle on. The exhaust and the heat waves from inside the vehicle will ruin your photos. She said both happened to her on that weekend. So I think she went like a shh, don't tell anyone, but it happened to Terry. So, firsthand experience, right? So that's awesome.
Yeah. And won't do it again, right? So
yeah, exactly. and like we had mentioned before too, cold vehicle, opening the window, cold outside, you wouldn't have that heat coming out from the warm vehicle.
Right.
But I think Terry's going to start to bundle up a little bit and have the vehicle cold. And that way there, she doesn't encounter that again. So
sure. And I don't know about you, but like I kind of make a habit of, if I'm out in the cold photographing wildlife of any sort, once I pull over and go to take photos of any wildlife, I actually shut my vehicle off just so the noise, even doesn't disturb them and bother them. So that, I guess, would help with the exhaust situation there alone as well. So.
Oh, for sure. Anything to minimize the impact, like,
yes.
with heat,
even the vibration of your vehicle, right? So,
well, and that's it. You're not going to put your, if the vehicle's running, you're not going to put your elbows down. No. And shoot, doesn't matter how good your IS is, it ain't going to happen, right? No. So,
and if you're doing video, it's even worse, right? So you don't want to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But great tip, Terry. Yeah. Thanks for letting us know on that one. And Ward had made a really good point here. He says he keeps the camera bag in his unheated garage the night before going out. That way, it keeps, and then he keeps it in the back seat with the heat off. So nice. That's a great idea, because now your camera's pretty much at the same ambient temperature as it is outside.
Sure.
I mean, or close to it. Depends on how well your garage is insulated and that sort of thing. But even a well-insulated garage like mine, it's still cold in there.
Oh, it is. For sure.
That sort of thing. Perfect. But that's a really good idea. Just like we mentioned in the previous episode when I was in Churchill, we kept the gear outside.
Same concept for sure. Yeah.
Exactly. But that's a great idea, Ward. Especially locally, right? Leaving home and heading out. So.
For sure. I guess you don't have to be worried about polar bears getting your gear on the porch here, hey?
No, but we will be in November.
Yes. Looking forward to that.
So Chris and myself, the nature photo guys, are headed to Churchill this year with a bunch of friends, and
we are
looking forward to it like you have no idea. It's been way too long since I've been up there.
I've never been there, so I'm looking forward to it.
And that's it. Yeah. And there's a couple of other photographers too that have never been. Yeah. So it's going to be an absolutely fantastic time. And
for sure. We might have to do an episode 3 of the cold weather episode. I was going to say, totally different scenario, right?
Exactly. Maybe we'll add to it while we're up there. So, for sure. Pretty stoked about that trip.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
So that's it, guys, for the viewer tips.
Yeah, appreciate all the comments. That was awesome.
Chris wanted to mention something that how Chris and myself stay warm during the coldest of days out there, minus 20-ish, minus 30. The gear Chris is going to talk about, I've used in the field, ice fishing, hiking, sitting in a stand, and I've probably been using it for about 5 years now. So just did an update, just kind of updated the batteries, but I'll let you take over there, Chris.
Sure. Yeah. No. Feel free to jump in as well. But yeah, no. I've been using this gear for about 5 years myself. You might be a bit longer now, actually, for doing that. But
maybe, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, what it's called, it's called MotionHeat gear. And the cool part is they have these glove liners. So there's a glove liner, and it's MotionHeat, and you can actually it's powered. So you can actually attach a battery here. They've got different size batteries, but here's one as an example. You can plug it in there, pop it in the zippered pouch, zip the glove up, put the glove on, and then actually put the glove into any other gloves or mitts or anything else you have at home. They do sell external gloves as well that I'll show you here too. But yeah, this is an ideal scenario. It's got the finger touch on there, so you can actually do a touch on your screen. You can use it while doing photography. It's really super handy. It's nice and thin. Hey, it doesn't feel bulky or anything like that. So,
to be upfront, I rarely ever use the liner inside of a mitt. Because it's just that warm.
Too hot.
Yeah, just that warm, right? So just with the heat on, it works great. The other thing too that I've done in the past is, I don't have them on all the time. It's just to warm them up, because if you have it on the high setting, your hands get hot like within 30 seconds a minute. It is very.
It's like you're maintaining your warmth almost, right? You can turn it on, turn it off.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what I do, is maintain my warmth. So I'll get my hands warmed up, and then I'll turn them off.
Sure.
And then just keep going until, it starts to get, on the colder side again, and then pop one. And the same thing with all the other gear that you're going to show.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I was just going to show that this is a mitt that they do sell. This is, they have newer versions now, but you can actually put the heated glove on your hand, slide it in here. And the cool part is there's a zipper. You can actually unzip it, flip that over. Now you have access to your camera. And actually there's a thumb hole as well that flips over too, right? So you have access to your camera, and then you can zip yourself back up, and then good to go again, right? So
yeah, you betcha.
They also have these other kind of gloves that I use, and I really like these ones. When you first see them, it's like you have one finger and the rest are kind of like a mitt, but it's actually handy. Like the one finger you use all the time, and the other finger is not as much. So it's actually perfect for everything that I do. And it's got this wicked strap on here. It's one of those when you're a kid, it just hangs on your wrist, but it's actually super handy. You just throw it off,
like the old
you can do whatever
mittens
you need and pop it back on. You don't have to go looking for your mitts, right, or whatever. So,
the ones your mom used to knit.
Yeah, exactly.
And the string goes all the way up your one sleeve, all the way to the other, so you come home with them. Yeah.
And then the cool part is they also have a vest. So what happens is do you
have the vest there handy, Chris?
Bear with me 1 second.
Yeah, just the great thing about the vest is that it holds the batteries, and then you can plug in all the accessories to the vest. So it's kind of like it's warming up your core, but at the same time, it can power the insoles, the gloves, and other accessories. So yeah, there you go.
For
perfect.
Sure. Yeah. So here's the vest, and it's pretty cool. You can actually control the power of your feet and the vest from here. I didn't mention the heated insoles. They have various different sizes for your feet as well in the boots, so you can order the ones that make sense to yourself.
Yeah, you betcha.
And so they actually with cords they run from the vest right down to your feet or to your hands, and you can actually put all the batteries in here and power the entire thing right from this. You don't need the vest; you can still power the insoles by themselves or the gloves by themselves. But like you said, this warms your core, right? So,
and what else can the vest do?
What else can the vest do?
Well, there's a pocket that you can actually charge your cell.
Yeah, you can put a pocket. You can put your phone in the pocket here, and if you just use a cord, you can actually plug that in and charge your phone while you're.
Because there's an adapter for that piece that's USB.
Exactly. Yep.
So it's got the USB end that you can plug in your phone charger into that and charge your phone as you go. So.
And they have all different kind of sizes of batteries. They've got these big guys here.
Those are the 16 volt.
This is the 16 volt, 47 watt hours. This one is a 12 volt, 35 watt hours, and then they have the smaller versions as well. For these are handy for the gloves. They're not as bulky in the gloves, right? So that's kind of the concept. And the cool concept that I like is not only do these produce heat up in the products that they have here, but you can also use them for different things. For example, you can actually I can plug this into my monitor and actually power my monitor in the field if I want. That's the cable. It goes right into my Atomos Ninja, and I can use this to power my Atomos Ninja in the field if I needed to. It also has, you can get all these extra attachments. You can plug two batteries in here. So let's plug the 16 watt. So we'll plug a 16 watt in here. We'll plug another 16 watt in here. And then there's a 12 volt adapter you can plug into there. And now technically I have a 100 watt power station if I wanted to. So the cool part is for that, I can actually plug my heating blanket into here and actually be warm all night.
Oh my God.
So there's lots of different options there. And we've both been using them forever and I swear by them. So
you betcha. So if anybody is interested in this gear or have any questions, reach out to myself or to Chris. We've also got a promo code for you guys for 15% off any of the heated gear. You have to use the code online. Okay.
That's right.
You can pick up in store, but it has to be used online to get the 15% discount. So reach out to myself, reach out to Chris. We'll get you hooked up.
Yeah. The stores in Calgary here as well, but they ship all over the place. So
they ship worldwide. Yeah. So 100%.
For sure.
So
that's just another tip that we didn't really talk about last episode, but definitely helps in the very cold times of year for sure. I wore them ice fishing. You had seen them in the video there. So
exactly. And if you're not comfortable, I mean, I'm at that point where if I'm not comfortable, it's just not fun. And don't get me wrong. Yeah. Being uncomfortable is all part of being out in the field, trekking back there, stopping. Oh, here's another cool little tip too with the vest.
Sure. Yeah.
So I'll have the vest on and it's just above your base layer. So it's basically you got a base layer and then you put the vest on, right?
Yes,
so it's got to be close to the skin.
Don't put it over your hoodie. You got to be underneath. Yeah.
That's right. And also the reason for that too is the pocket or the batteries you put in the pockets, they stay warm because they're underneath your, your top layer, your jacket and everything else.
That's right.
But what I do is, especially when I'm hiking or moving quite a bit, is as I'm moving, the vest is off. And then when I stop and I start to cool down a little bit, then I'll turn the vest on for a few minutes to kind of warm things up again. Or, for 15 minutes, however long it takes, depending on how cold it is. And then when I start to move again, I turn it off. So I try to manage the power supply, I can get, a full day of battery power.
Police officers use them. There's tons of people use them. The people that aren't moving,
construction,
just standing there, working exactly, right? So it definitely keeps you warm.
Yeah, Ken says it sells a lot of this stuff up north. The rigs, a lot of the oil field guys, construction, like you said, any of the other professions, I don't know, like, line workers, police, just whatever, mechanics, anybody that, is outside. So,
but you're right. As soon as you start moving, like we were snowshoeing there a few years back and I was wearing the vest. I'm like, holy crap, I got to turn this thing off. But as soon as we stopped and we were moving, it was back on. That's for sure.
Well, and because you know yourself, like without the vest, when you're hiking, you sweat. You're warm, but the minute you stop, depending on how cold it is, it could be 15 minutes, and you start feeling the cold, and then not too long after you're going to start shivering. So then it's like, okay, let's throw the backpack back on and let's get hiking again to warm up. But with the vest, you're sitting there. It's nothing to just toss the vest on for 10, 15 minutes, even on low power. To take the edge off and then keep going. So. Really cool, really great accessory for winter photography, fishing, whatever it is that you do.
And like Joe said, if you guys have any questions, reach out to either one of us. We'll be able to fill you in on any information you're looking for there for sure. So
awesome. Well, I think we'll just wrap it up, Chris. This is just a follow-up video, guys, to our cold weather video we had just put out last week. So
I guess so, for sure.
We really appreciate the comments, and again, if you guys have something different, please put them down below, and we'll get that list growing for another episode.
Give me tips. I need to stay warm in Churchill.
No kidding, right? So we appreciate you guys. Thanks so much. If you haven't, please like and subscribe, and let all your photo friends and outdoor enthusiasts know. We're really trying to grow the channel here. So we'll get you guys next time. Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for joining us on the Nature Photo Guys podcast. If you have any questions, contact us at info@thenaturePhotoGuys.ca or message us on Facebook and Instagram at the Nature Photo Guys podcast. Visit YouTube and subscribe to our channel to watch all our latest videos. Or follow and listen to our latest podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or on our website at thenaturePhotoGuys.ca. We'll catch you next time on the Nature Photo Guys podcast.